Hi, this is Helena Hart, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing 7 things you want to stop doing immediately with a man if you want him to truly commit to you. Not only do these 7 things really kill a man's feelings of attraction for you and his desire to come closer, but they also feel terrible to you as you're doing them. So these are so important to become aware of. I'm really looking forward to sharing this with you today. But before I get started, if you're new to my channel, click the button to subscribe to get all of my latest videos. So the first thing you want to stop doing is making this man or the commitment you want from him the goal or the prize in your mind. So if you're feeling a sense of longing for one particular man, especially a man whose energy isn't coming towards you consistently or who's not giving you all of the love and affection or commitment you want, it's just never going to work for you. You likely have that man on a pedestal in your mind, and you may be coming from your masculine energy. And when you're coming from that place, you can't really help it. You're going to want to try to prove yourself to him or win him over or show him what a great catch you are or convince him of how amazing the two of you would be together. And if you've ever tried any of those things, you know that it just doesn't work. It actually pushes that man away on a very deep subconscious level. So you want to make sure that you're not making this man the goal or the prize in your mind. It's so important. And by the way, make sure to stay till the end of this video because I'm going to be sharing my top 2 tips for what to do if you're in this situation where you find yourself doing some of these things with a man. So the next thing you want to stop doing is accepting crumbs from a man. Any man, really. If a man is breadcrumbing you or not being consistent or reliable and dependable, there's just no way on earth that's ever going to feel good to you. So that's the second one. You never want to accept crumbs from a man. Number 3 is you also never want to tolerate bad behavior or anything that doesn't feel good to you. You want to think about what would the most high value woman in the world, a woman who knows her value and just has all the self-esteem and self-love in the world, what would she do in this situation? And often she wouldn't have time for a man. She would be bored or lose interest in a man who's just handing out crumbs or treating her in a way that's not in alignment with what she truly believes that she deserves deep down. Something I always say is what you tolerate in a relationship is a measure of what you think you deserve on a very deep level. So you want to make sure you're not tolerating bad behavior or accepting crumbs from a man. It's so important. The fourth thing you want to stop doing is making excuses for a man. And it can be easy to do this, especially if you're not attracted to that many men, right? And then one guy comes along and you finally have these intense feelings of chemistry or attraction for someone. And typically the man in this situation isn't showing up for you consistently in this relationship or potential relationship. And often his excuses sound reasonable or they make logical sense to you, like he's just been really busy with work or, he's been working 2 shifts or he has his kids this week, and his excuses make sense, but there just always seems to be something that's preventing him from putting both feet in and committing to the kind of relationship you want. So you want to catch that right away. If you find yourself making excuses for a man, you just want to nip that in the bud and make sure to stay to the end. Like I mentioned, I'll give you some tips on what to do if you're in this situation. Number 5 is trying to twist yourself into a pretzel to become what you think this man wants. A man can feel it if you're not being authentic or if you're suppressing certain parts of yourself and only trying to show the good parts. And you think that, that's what's going to make you more attractive or appealing to him, but it actually decreases your perceived value in a man's eyes. If you go back to what would the most high value woman in the world do, and everyone is inherently valuable, in my opinion, but there are behaviors that, are kind of associated with a person who doesn't value herself. I always say a man can't value, respect, and love you any more than you value, respect, and love yourself. So if you value yourself, if you know what you bring to the table, you're not going to feel the need to suppress certain parts and only show certain things to a man. You know and trust that the right man for you is going to love you and accept you for who you are, just like you're going to love and accept him for who he is, right? So you want to make sure you're loving, embracing, and accepting all the parts of yourself and being 100% authentic. Because if you have a mask on or you're pretending anything, you just can't keep that going forever. So it's so important just to show up as your authentic self from the beginning. Number 6 is something that I see women doing a lot lately. I certainly used to do this myself, and that's waiting for a man endlessly. If you're in a situation where you're making excuses for a man, maybe he's breadcrumbing you, or you're tolerating something that doesn't feel good to you, there's this tendency to just kind of want to wait around for a man endlessly, even when he's not committing to the kind of relationship you want, even if he's not fully available and ready for a relationship, or even when he's not showing up powerfully and consistently for you. So if you're just waiting around for a man, there's no reason for him to make a decision or do anything different, because he just knows you're going to be there, right? So that one's so important. You want to stop waiting for a man. I actually created a whole video on my channel called Never Wait for Him. Do this instead. So I'll include a link to that in the description of this video. If you have a tendency to wait around for men like I certainly did in my past, that video will help you a lot. And that brings me to the last thing you want to stop doing, and that is ignoring your own feelings and needs and desires, and instead just focusing on a man and how he feels and what can I do to get this man to commit to me or get him to step up and do what I want, right? And often when we're at that place where we're focused on a man and trying to figure him out or figure out what he needs in order to truly commit, we're ignoring our own feelings and needs and desires and what we truly want and deserve in a relationship. So what you want to do is get in touch with what you truly want, what would really feel good to you. And don't ignore that. Don't put yourself last on your priority list and just focus on a man and, try and figure out what you need to do to get him to step up. And by the way, I just wanted to mention, if a man is displaying any of these qualities I'm talking about in this video, most likely he's not the right man for you, right? If he's breadcrumbing you or putting you last on his priority list, the right man is just never going to do that, in my opinion. So it's just something to become aware of. So those are the 7 things you want to stop doing immediately with men. And if you find yourself in this situation where you're making excuses for a man or just waiting around endlessly or tolerating something that doesn't feel good, here are my top 2 tips on what to do, because I've been there myself. We all have, right? So there's no judgment here, but I do want you to start turning some of these things around. So the first tip I have for you is you're going to have to choose yourself before this man or a high quality man is ever going to choose you. So you have to put your own desire for a great relationship ahead or above your desire to just be with this one man right now who's not stepping up or doing the job. You really want to choose yourself and put your own heart first. And often when you do that, this man, if he's truly the right man for you, and maybe he's just got busy or was taking you for granted a little bit, will start to see you in a whole new way. When you stop accepting crumbs, when you feel confident enough to set boundaries and choose yourself and put your own heart first. Or if he's not the right man for you, he will fade away and create the space for a better man to step in. And that brings me to the second tip I wanted to share, and that is embodying this mindset that you actually want the men who are just stringing you along and who are never going to commit to you to fade away. You actually want that to happen. I know the tendency, again, especially when you're not attracted to that many men, and this one guy comes along, but he's not really fully stepping up and choosing you or committing to you. I understand the tendency to want to keep that connection active and alive, even when he starts to pull away or starts handing out crumbs or starts getting distant. I understand the tendency to want to hang on to him and just hold on tight and try and figure out what you can do to get him to commit to you and put both feet in. But it's just never going to work. A man might step up for a little while. He might even commit and say, okay, I'll be your boyfriend or I'll be exclusive. I mean, you might even get a man to marry you depending on the situation. But what you really truly want is a man to choose you on his own accord without any prompting or prodding or convincing on your end. So if you have to apply tactics in order to get a man to commit to you, that didn't come from his own internal desire within himself. And so, in situations like that, you might find yourself in an exclusive relationship with someone, but your needs aren't getting met. And then what do? You can't date other men because you're exclusively committed to this guy, and he's just not really giving you what you truly want and deserve and need in a relationship. Has anyone ever been there? I know I certainly have, and I just don't want you to get in that situation. That's why it's really important to embody this mindset that if a man isn't available or ready or willing to be that empowered masculine man for you in a committed relationship. You want him to fade away and make room for another guy to step in who would just be thrilled to be that man in your life and who wants to be there for you and meet your needs and make you happy. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I'd love to hear your experiences with this. Let me know down below in the comment section, which of these 7 things do you have trouble with? I can create some more videos on any of these if that would be helpful. And if you're ready to attract the right man for you or bring your man closer than ever, don't forget to download my 3 keys to attract the man you want report and audio training. That's totally free on my website, helenahartcoaching.com. I'll include a link to that in the description of this video. So just click the title of this video. It'll open up the description and that'll be the first link in there. Totally free. So I love you guys. I hope this was helpful and I will see you next time.